NRL.com is here with Frank Pulatua. Frank, you're the illustrator of the new book, Footy Fables. How on earth did you get involved with the book?
Well, Jody and Trish approached me from One Community, told me about a new project that they were doing with Rugby League Reads. And once I received the transcript from Susan, who's the author, just fell in love with the project, and I was very happy, very honoured actually to be a part of it.
Man of many talents, you're a former rugby league star, you're also a curator here for the Rugby League Museum and illustrator. I mean, how long have you been drawing for?
A very long time. Well, maybe not that long. 35 tomorrow, so maybe at least 34 years I've been drawing, I think. I started drawing very young age. Was well supported by my parents and family members, and it was just, I think it was just something that naturally sort of came to me, and I identified at a very young age that I had a natural talent in. So.
Is this your first sort of experience with a published book, being an illustrator?
Yes, very much so. So the whole experience itself was very new to me, and very educative one as well. So I was very honoured to be a part of the process, because opened my eyes to a totally different experience. Even though I love drawing, the actual process into putting a book together is very intensive, and it's something that I'm very happy now, because I sort of know now what sort of steps and different processes you have to go through to do a book. So
how involved were you in the actual storytelling process?
Well, Susan had really the framework of the story there, and really it was just about the two of us opening a dialogue where she would provide me some feedback of what she thought my work with the illustrations, and I would communicate back to her maybe this option or that option, and that was the process that I'm talking about. That it wasn't as straightforward as just handing over a book and going, can you draw me some illustrations? It was it really was an open sort of communication where ideas were thrown on the table, and the result is in the book now. So
what sort of things can people look forward to when they start reading this book?
They can look forward to the players being in very different scenarios and looking very different in there as well. But there's some really nice stories there. There's some elements of fairy tales that people would be able to be very familiar with. But there's also players that high profile players that are involved in the book and that feature in the book that people would know very well, and I think that's one of the reasons why the book itself will resonate with a lot of kids.
We had 4 of the NRL stars here today for the launch of the partnership with Macmillan Books and the NRL. What was their response to being in the book there, and the illustrations that you drew of them?
Varied. G.I. and I had a bit of a laugh, because he featured a bit of a tan in the book. I told him it was the printing process or something like that. But the other guys, they were very happy. Lottie, as you saw before, wasn't too happy because he was about the size of a ant on it. But the overall feedback that I've been getting from the players has been a very positive one, and I think it doesn't detract from the actual message that we're trying to deliver out there. Is that we're trying to encourage our kids to read, and really trying to push that. With the profile of rugby league, this is another way of connecting with the youth, and it's a very positive one.
It's certainly setting a bit of a precedent, I guess, in education to really unite the sport with education. I mean, how good is it to see a resource like this now being brought in to help the kids really get engaged with that sort of learning?
Well, I think it's great, yeah. The initiative itself, I think, is very clever, and I take my hat off to, Trish and the One Community team for, even coming up with this sort of initiative. Again, they've identified that, with the profile of rugby league, you can do a lot of positive things in the community. You can make a lot of positive changes with the young kids, that love our sport. So why not do it in this way, And again, when I was presented with it, I was very happy to be a part of it.
Lastly, what was the most favourite part of the whole process for you, and which story did you really enjoy illustrating?
Well, back to the first question, the best part was when I first saw the finished book, because that's when it became a reality to me, and I thought, now I can tell my kids to tell their kids and their kids that, Daddy illustrated a book. But the stories themselves, I enjoyed all the stories. There was a few stories there that were a little bit quirky, but again, that's probably where the point of interest lies for a lot of young people. So all of them were enjoyable, and illustrating the players was a very enjoyable process as well.
Well, congratulations. I'm certainly looking forward to reading it. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.